if there's a veteran sitting there, the guy walks in front of him, clips his heels, takes one step and clips his heels. For that veteran, takes another step, clips his heels again. Another step, clips his heels in recognition of the veteran.
Wow.
And you don't do hang on around the circle there, around the area, because it's kind of an L shape. But he comes over and does that right here along the people, and then he goes, starts his operation.
Mhm.
And halfway through the operation, they haven't required that they stay over there in that little room there. They go in a little building right there and make sure the dress is right, everything looks good.
You have the soil and water? Come on in.
And they do that, so it was a very impressive thing.
Hey there.
And just a little bit further back from it, just
Is it?
here at the other end of this room right here, the hallway right here, is where Charlie Murphy's burial is at.
Hmm.
Right in a tree. So they have a lot of people, they have a chain there about knee high, and they got a cement pad up to that, not around the same, not around anything. A lot of people walk up on the older guys and want pictures taken with this thing, all his emeralds on top, he's at lower church. They step too close to the curb and they fall over that chain.
Oh.
And so, but the best part of it was, the funniest part of it was, we had a medic, we had 4 buses, 4 different colored buses, red, white, blue, and gold. And I was the gold bus. And Indianapolis Fire Department guys, it's not just for veterans anymore, it's for retired police officers and retired firemen. So, because there's fewer and fewer people going on these things, because you had a certain age limit, certain military duty, stuff like that. Because I was in the National Guard.
Please.
Crawfordville, Indiana. My headquarters. I live in Boone County, so my thing. They sent us to Gary in November of '66 for riot control. That was still good. We were straight activated. That's what helped my number go a little further up. But stayed activated, and we up there. The guy stood next to the guy standing next to him. We had started 2 days from the uniform. That was something that was against the Vietnam Wars.
Yeah.
You know what? I
Blood
didn't
rocket control.
beat that up.
Do we find the flag anywhere?
Need to sign both of these. One real quick.
How long was it? Did you in the Guard?
This, yeah, one.
I was in college.
Okay.
Make it big. There we go. But I need to run downstairs and grab their local grant, because I said that as an attachment separate, and I did not know.
All right.
You guys want to go ahead and do.
I will wait for you.
introductions and stuff?
Oh, okay. We'll do introduction. I'm Doug Piney, the board chair.
Hi.
Howdy.
Stan Diamond, supervisor.
Roy McGuffin, supervisor. John Phillips, associate supervisor.
David Carter, supervisor.
Tom Carter, associate supervisor.
Bill Mitchell, Associate Supervisor.
David Mallon, invasive species specialist. And your name?
Just trying to process. A lot of supervisors here.
Yeah.
You won't, there won't be a test, don't worry.
Yeah, one's all right. I'm Julie Morton,
And I'm Dave Nelson.
not a supervisor or anything.
Well, Julie and Dave,
Yep.
we are glad you're here.
And where do you live in the county?
We live on Green Road.
Okay,
Northwest.
it's off of around Hancock Ridge and that.
Yeah, the little hurricane.
Yeah.
Do you live down in the valley or up on the ridge?
Well, there's a ridge above us, so I guess we're kind of,
So Upper Patton turns into Berean.
Okay.
it's really close to where it turns into, right? It just comes off of Hermont.
Okay,
We're probably half a mile down,
okay.
right, and right before it switches.
So so you're just barely east of Little Hurricane,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
where the church camp used to be.
Well. You're west of it.
How are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're west of Little Hurricane.
Okay.
It's outside of Berlin. We're not really very far from the corner.
Okay.
Vermont.
Is it one of the houses up on the ridge there?
You can't see it.
Okay.
No, you go to this house over the ridge and it drops down in the.
Okay.
Right above.
Yeah. Bill, can you hand us another one of those? Thank you.
I'll have to wait here. We got that blue. No, that's from Rich Kid.
Well, while we've got a few minutes, and Lisa's not here, I can brag about her. She did a wonderful job today in the presentation. At the workshop that Hoosier Environmental Council and the Alliance of Indiana Rural Water put on. A good morning session and so forth, and then we got to go to the Martinsville Water Treatment Facility. Has a powdered activated carbon, and visited there. There were probably 20 people there, including Gary. Coates. And all in all, it went well. I talked about the coal ash and the discharges from Eagle Valley and so forth. And that seemed to be well receptive as well, but a lot of good information. So just wanted to pass on, but
Good.
it's good.
David, did you know, Ruby Schuler?
No,
I just always think of their farm right where, Bergen tees into Hancock. All that ground right there, and then to the church and north, with a lot of their grain.
I just delivered mail out in the area.
Yeah.
That's how but I remember when I did, it wasn't my regular route, so. You know, if you reach a certain point, you're supposed to come back to the post office, because you know, you have to be back for the truck. I said, the only way I know how to get back to the truck is to run the route. So,
Yeah.
because it was like, it took years for it to all make sense, how it all fit
Yeah.
together.
It does, but then it's all flipped, you know, it's that hills and hollers and then everything's square.
Yeah.
Have you good timing?
Your ears burning?
No.
I'm bragging on in the presentation, and the information that was covered and so forth. It was good.
It was a really good workshop today, yeah.
It's unfortunate we didn't have a.
Oh, we can share.
Save one for Pat when she gets here.
Okay.
You want a copy of it? Remember what it was?
You must have
Alright.
used the stairs.
I did use the stairs, yeah.
We ready, boss?
Yeah, whenever you are.
Okay. So we did our introductions and everything.
And I've met Julie. She came to our win for the Plan Learning Circle, but I don't think I met your husband.
I am.
My name's Lisa.
Lisa.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
They was waiting to be let in.
Oh,
Okay, I need a motion to approve our complete meeting agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting agenda.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Lisa, I assume we don't have anything from Tony.
no. Trying to figure out how to get Bailey in here, sorry.
That's okay.
Down there where it says admit, so.
There we go. Where did the rest of the meeting go, though?
Did Holden send us anything?
No, he did not. I have talked to him, though. Oh.
Okay,
Um.
still working on the soil samples.
At our last meeting, we talked about some of the projects we had that involved heavy use area pads. He has been able to get authorization to create those plans.
Okay,
So the one that we approved at the last meeting for Hickey's, he and I made a site visit out there and he has started the work on that. There are pieces of that design plan. I think, they have to do like a cultural, historical, like archaeological type survey of some sort. Basically, it's accessing the NRCS database that will let you know whether or not there would likely to be any sensitive areas. I don't really know the specifics of that, but he's waiting on that piece and one other piece, and then that one will be done. And then Matt Morris was the one that we approved like in July, and NRCS had already started it. And we were waiting and waiting to see if we could step on the toes of the NRCS and create one, whether with or without their help. And he finally got approval to do that one also. So he went out there today. He was supposed to go out there today. I've not heard from him this
What was their
afternoon.
name?
Matt Morse, and it's Morse, not them. Yes, not like Morris, but Morse. So those are in the works now. I can tell you that.
If you can do both of those, then at our next meeting, hopefully we can approve 2 mini grants for high use area pass.
Well, we already approved them, but they just have to do
Yeah.
them per designs.
Yeah.
So I would hope that they would get hopefully, yeah, within the next month, they get them done and we will pay on them.
Okay. I didn't remember
Because they
that. I
have
thought-
to do them and we have to go back and do a verification that they were done per design plans, and then we can pay on them.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we do have Emma to tell us what has been going on.
Sure.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Perfect. So I don't have a ton to report. First I wanted to say that Rita, the program that I am in, has hired the final cohort person. Okay, I think you guys are muted, but
Well, we're
hopefully you can
getting
hear me.
feedback.
The final cohort.
Oh, hang on just a second. Let me see if
Okay.
I'm trying to remember how we did this last time. I have to assign the audio to something different, I think.
Yeah.
Try now.
Okay, how's that?
You're gonna need to turn the speaker up.
Okay, try again. Sorry.
Okay. Hello, hello.
Okay, how's
Good. Okay, perfect.
Let's try
Um,
now.
Okay.
Hello.
The Rita program that I'm a part of has hired the last cohort of technicians, so the whole state is covered now. So if you want any of their information, let me know. So that's super cool. That was the original goal of the program, was to cover the entire state. So that's really good news, especially in a very uncertain time. So as far as Morgan County Activity Career Day, it was freshmen through juniors, and it was so anything conservation related, I had information on and was able to talk to the students about. And then we had a women's learning circle back last month about wildlife habitat, and then we went on a birding walk, so I was able to come to that and participate and talk to a lot of interested local residents. So I thought it was super fun, and I got to hand out my business card. So hopefully some people will get in contact with the office and maybe put some programs on their land and stuff like that. So that was awesome. And then I was able to attend the Project Wet Foundation programs on course that was hosted in Morgan County. and it was super fun. I thought it was awesome. And it gave me great ideas that I've already used at educational events. Um, I have been accepted into something called the Watershed Leadership Academy, which is a really cool program that gives you professional certification in watershed management. So that's super cool. It's January through May, so it's a about 5 month program that is mostly online, but that'll be really cool. You have to come up kind of with a watershed plan, so maybe I'll be able to get some data for Morgan County. I'll have to see. I'm not completely sure what that entails yet. And that I just kind of wanted to gauge interest. We talked about having something called into the public event where maybe we'll have a conservation professional present, and I just invite anyone from the public to come and talk about a conservation topic. Owen County does something very similar on their first Friday of the month. They open up the office and have coffee and donuts, and invite anybody in to ask questions and get information. So we were thinking about hosting it at this co-working space right down the street, called Launch Martinsville. If you guys have ever heard of Sarah's Goodies, there's like a coffee shop in there with cheesecake. But it's a really cool co-working space that is owned, I believe, by the Chamber of Commerce. I haven't been able to get in contact with anyone. I've emailed their contact info, but I don't know if it might be out of date. So I'm thinking I'll probably just go in person and ask about it. But if you guys have any other ideas of places we could host that, um, we could also host it probably at the county building. So that's something I'm looking forward to and hope we can do over the winter to kind of provide something like that. But I think that's pretty much everything I had. So let me know if you have questions, but thank you.
You guys are muted in case you don't know.
Thanks, Bailey.
No worries.
Some audio problems with Emma repeating herself, and I had to mess with some of the settings, so hopefully we got that figured out. Did you guys already approve the agenda?
Yes, we did.
And that, can somebody tell me who?
Deb did, then Stan did.
Okay.
Actually, Roy second. Roy second, okay.
Sorry.
All in favor, aye.
Yeah. Yes, good.
I was probably trying to,
Get your breath running up 3 flights of stairs.
yeah, be ready. Bailey, do you want to go ahead and do your report ahead of ours while we got the audio working?
Sure. Let me find my report. There we go. Hello, nice to see you all virtually. I have an entomology contest. Not me. I'm a coach for an entomology FFA team at my other job, and our contest is tomorrow early in the morning. Very excited for that, but I want to get enough sleep so I can try to cram as much bug knowledge into the kids last minute as possible. But that'll be fun. I'll try to keep this short. But we've been doing a lot of stuff that's been a lot of fun. I have been doing nature journaling programs with the Morgan County Public Libraries. 3 of them so far, with the Waverly branch, the main branch, and the not more one of them. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I always want to say Mooresville, but I think,
Monrovia.
sorry, Monrovia, that's one. Yeah, the Mooresville one's a separate one. That's right. Sorry. Um, and they went pretty well. The Waverly one especially, I was really shocked. I was expecting just a couple people to show up because it's a really tiny branch, and the whole room, granted it was a small room, but the whole room was packed. Like we were struggling to walk around each other. I don't think they were expecting that many people to show up either. And it went really well for just an indoor nature journaling program. Both the kids and the adults that showed up, even the parents who showed up with their kids and were just like, at first, I offered them a journal and they're like, no thanks, I'm just here for my kiddo. Eventually they like asked me for a journal. I was like, can I get in on this? So that was really fun. That was awesome. I'm also the Waverly branch. I think she's the program manager. Really sweet lady. She used to work at a nature center up a little further north from there. She wants to do more nature programs, especially over the winter, because they don't get very much traction in the library over the winter. And so we've got a few things in the works. She's calling it Nature Club, but she wants to change the name. But I think it's geared for adults and teenagers. We're going to be doing one on the 24th, I believe. That's bug focused, especially thinking about bugs over the winter, and what they need and how we can help them, and all that sort of fun stuff. I also attended the IDEA conference, which was great. I went the last 2 days. Lots of cool people I've met, people I've never even heard of. Absolutely wonderful. I didn't meet a single person that I did not like there. It was great to be around so many people who are like-minded and learning so much about what other soil and water conservation districts do. And all of the breakout sessions were very informative. Dawn was one of the speakers, so that was always good. One's always a fun one to see. But there's also a talk about pollinators that was really insightful, or pollinator habitat specifically, and how and like the best practices to create and manage that, and that was very cool. I've also been doing some stuff on Facebook as usual. This most recent bout was Halloween themed, and it was a lot of fun to make, comparing plants to Halloween monsters, like multiflora rose to like a zombie apocalypse, with like the outstretched arms like the canes of a multiflora rose. And Lisa came up with the grim creeper, which I'm obsessed with. I love that. So those were fun. I did about 5 of those leading up to Halloween. Also a couple other ones like Asian bush honeysuckle and leaving the leaves, to try to stay seasonal with them. Helped out with the Project What training that was mentioned earlier. Kathy was amazing. And I'm really excited to use the things that we learned, like all the activities that we learned and all the tips that she gave, outside of just the activities, for like aging up activities and aging down activities. I thought were really insightful. And yeah, if anyone has any suggestions or for programs or posts or anything, please do let me know, especially over the winter. Looking for more stuff to do there. So yeah, nice to see you all.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you're having fun doing what you're doing. It's great to watch you work, and good luck at competition.
Yeah, thank you.
Kids that I really enjoy getting to spend time with you. So that's job well done.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we've had less than a month to teach them. Well, I've had less than a month to teach them 150 insects, not counting like their larval stages and damages that they cause. It's a whole shebang, but we're gonna have fun. The kids they're really impressing me. I'm really surprised with the amount of progress that they've made. But yeah,
I think with you as their guide, they'll have a chance to do really well.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
if I could indulge your discretion court.
You bet.
I have another meeting I have to go to.
Sure.
But if you could give me about 30 seconds, a couple comments on the program that Emma was speaking of. There's always the possibility of using the central library conference room with prior notification that would be available, and it holds about 150 people. Number two, you were looking at the possibility of having choices on the annual meeting. And before any of you were involved with the district, shortly after South Elementary School opened, we did have the annual meeting at South Elementary School. And if you were looking for some sort of a tribute, perhaps to Lou Fagan, if the folks at South Elementary were interested in doing that, that would be an interesting potential. And then you are aware of the information I had for the nomination committee. And I was unable to get any additional clarification on that due to the ongoing circumstances, but at least you know what I'm talking about. So thank you for the indulgence. I have to get to.
I did try to reach out and get their contact information from other people, and I have not been successful.
Well, it's harvest time.
Yeah.
Great idea. I will follow up with the school to see our meeting.
Glad you're here.
Yeah, I was thinking, like the fairgrounds would be easier access for people to get into the meeting too, like
Could be.
here they have to park and walk down the sidewalk and even getting the food, usually she comes in and out the back doors and they won't allow that now. So I was starting to think about that whole process, like not consider the schools, but I was thinking the fairgrounds, that large room would be a space.
I think Lou was a principal at South for a while.
He was a principal at like 4 different schools from the awards I saw at his funeral. So
Center from South and
green. Yeah, but he's to the south. Yeah,
Not so long ago.
yeah.
but I don't know where you can get in South School now on account of security.
Oh, yeah, I bet we know the right people. Hopefully it can happen. Okay. So we got Dave, let's have you go next, and then Lisa gets to go last. So we're going back to this.
Okay, so since the last board meeting, we had completed all 4 of our fall weed wrangles. The one at Burkhart Creek, we had 7 people show up to help control autumn olive and calorie pear. We may have gotten a couple of bush honeysuckle. Old Town Waverly, there were 4 of us. We worked along the road. They didn't want us working on the haunted trail because they were getting ready for Halloween and didn't want us in there. 15 people. That's including the DNR and SWCD personnel for Ravinia State Forest. We had a communication problem and they didn't bring the herbicide at 9 o'clock and they didn't get it there until about 11. We did work until about 12:30 or so before we quit. Instead of doing cut stump, we were doing basilbar treatment. And so they brought the oil herbicide to do that. We had so many people. Somebody was wearing backpack sprayer and somebody walking around with them. And then I stood around taking photos the whole time. Then we had 5 people, and that includes Jameson from Silty for Fred and Dorothy Mayer. We finally, after about 5 years, have a good dent in the burning bush in the area we've been working on. It's finally starting to look decent. So we may move next spring to do another area. Usually in the spring, we'll work on garlic mustard, but they don't have garlic mustard. So we work on burning bush there twice a year. I've submitted all the post reports for the SICM, which means we should have everything in for the funding that they're giving out this year. All 3 categories, all the information has been submitted to SICM. So just sometime the end of this year, we should be getting that funding. I held the McNett meeting, 6 people attending. We watched a presentation on spotted lanternfly and where they are now. And they've still not been found in Morgan County. I'm keeping my eyes out for them, but a county north of Indy has reported them. So they are up along the northern part of the state, in along the Ohio River, and there's one little off or a couple offshoots moving down south from the railroad tracks up north. We also went over the wheat wrangles. One of the ladies was worried about who would do all the SICM paperwork that I do the presentations, do the outreach, the Farmers Day, the Master Gardeners and all that stuff. I had no good answer for who would take over that if I was to drop dead.
Let's hope we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. So I've watched several Zoom presentations on invasive species and should get links to all of them so I can show them at meetings in the future. I usually also send out a registration for them to the McNett email list when I get them. So if people want to watch them live, and they can register for those. If you get the correspondent, you may have been seeing my articles. An article about me teaching Master Gardener class on invasives. I think they took that off my Facebook page. They also took the post on the difference between Oriental Bittersweet and American Bittersweet. They didn't ask me if they could. They didn't tell me they were doing it. They just did it. And that's on top of my monthly article that I send to them. So I was in there 3 times this last month. The Bittersweet post had over 750 responses on the Indiana Native Plant Society Facebook page. Also put it on my page, McNipp group and page, South Central Indiana Native Plant Society page, and In Nature page. Had a good response from all of them. Yesterday, I did a post on frost flowers that also got a big response. Over 500 people responded to the Indiana Native Plant Society post in 24 hours.
Way to go.
And so that's probably gonna, I'm thinking I'll probably do an article on frost flowers for the magazine and newspaper for the January edition. I've already sent in the December article. I also watched, and I did this after I posted this to the email, wrote this up and sent it. But I watched Zoom today on deer and invasive species. The trees growth improves, survival improves if you remove both the deer and the invasives. But if you're only going to do one, remove the deer first because the invasives are actually protecting the young tree from the deer browsing. So do deer first, then remove the shrubs. If you remove the shrubs, the deer are gonna eat the young trees. That's about what I've got.
Well, good stuff to keep in mind. Thank you, David. All right, Lisa, since we're working our way up the list.
So I've done a few more of the farm visits, and then soil sampling, through the fish group. I'll be sending in a reimbursement for us to receive, and then really for us, that's gonna be transferring funds from one fund from the fish fund to the general fund, but I have to have approval from the fish group before we can do that. For all of those soil testing fees and the postage and handling that are associated with that. So I need to do that before the end of the year. Hoosier River Watch has kind of come to a close with the colder weather, but Bailey and I made a mad dash for Burkhart Creek last Friday when the weather was still pretty nice to get some data out of that creek. We had intended on taking a youth group down there in October, and that just kind of fell through. So we wanted to make sure we got some fall data, and even though the water was very cold and there were lots of leaves, we still were able to find mackerel and vertebrates, and all of the values in that we found that day all indicated a healthy stream. The new parts for the Truax drill have come in. I know I'm very busy and Doug's very busy. It might take a group team effort or something, but if anybody has spare time and you just really want to try your hand at putting on opener, we can work on that. At some point, we need to put them on and then send the ones that are on it back to Truax. So
I think we need to do one set first because there's several sets that have that clicking. Do one, make sure that joins.
yeah, try a set, and yeah. And they assured me the boxes they sent them, and we could just send the old ones back in those boxes. They're busted, and like they weren't after they made it through shipping, or we're gonna have to figure out a method of shipping. But anyways, that bridge we can cross over. Tree orders went very quickly this year. I think the day that we had our last meeting is when I opened pre-orders up, and we were out of trees by the next morning, and then I ordered additional trees, and we were out of those in 24 more hours. And I think I ended up ordering another 300 the next day. So we are up to 4,300 trees ordered right now.
Let's go.
And I'm saving 300 of those pine trees, white pine trees, for youth outreach, because I want to give kids something that has green on it. Also, like a pecan tree becomes a sword, whereas a pine tree will not. So if we go into schools, I think teachers will appreciate pine trees more than pecan or some of the other species. But I have roughly 160 trees right now that are not spoken for. And I'm dabbling with the idea of, like I had already publicly said, we're out of trees. And then I felt bad because we kept getting these straggler orders coming in on paper. So I went ahead and ordered like 200 more trees, but at some point we'll get rid of those too. So that was very, very popular this year. I don't know why it went so quickly this year compared to last year. It took me all winter to get rid of 3,000 trees. So that makes me a little nervous. I hope that people come and actually pick their trees up. And I think keeping them engaged through the winter, like with reminder emails, maybe some information in those, anticipating that and knowing that they did that and remembering that they did that. So when they get their postcard in the mail, they're not surprised, will be key to that. So we're going to try that this year. I already talked about the site visits with Holden. And Bailey talked about the conference. It was really good. They had a lot of sessions that focused on pollinator and native habitat, how to manage invasives in those plantings. It was really interesting to learn more about Lake Monroe itself, and why it was created and processed, and the geology around that lake is really interesting. And Bailey failed to mention, we tried really hard to win the scavenger hunt, and we raced around getting photos of all the items we needed, but we weren't the first ones. We weren't first place. So we got honorable mention, I think. So the Project Wet training, I kind of included some pictures in here, so I thought you guys probably, I think it's fun to be able to visualize. The folks in that picture were the ones that attended the Project Wet training. Those are SWCD staff from around the state and also Rita techs from around the state, who are all certified now, in Project Wet and have their, big fat Project Wet handbooks that they can use as lesson plans. And so that was all made possible because we sponsored that in Southern Indiana. A lot of those workshops are way up north, and it's kind of burdensome to get up there. So hosting one down here was really nice. And I think that Kathy, the lady who was in charge of that from the DNR side, would really appreciate us hosting more follow-up. They have several different Project Wet is kind of like the overreaching umbrella of lessons, but then they have specific ones on like climate change and I can't think of the ones I want to say right now. There's like healthy water. There's other like branches underneath that main group of lessons that you can get more specific with. And I think she would appreciate if we held more. It was a great location, and we had a good crowd show up. Stan and I presented today. The Indiana Alliance of Rural Water put on a workshop over at Martinsville Fire Station, and that was a really good conversation, and I learned a lot from the other speakers as well. And then just as the end of the year wraps up, I'm going to have a lot of desk work, unfortunately, to start getting done. And I would like some of that to be updated to our website. So with the logo order and everything, I brought that. If you haven't got online on the link yet, it was in the email that went out for the meeting. But if you would rather write your name on this and tell me what you want on paper, we can do that. I would like to update our website with current photos because we have a lot of like coming soon photos, and get some of that page updated. One other thing, I could have mentioned it financials, but Stan came in earlier this week or the end of last week, and we talked about where we were at since we're getting close to the end of the year on budget for Bailey and David's contractual funding. Right now, we had $52,000 budgeted for the whole year for contractual funds. We really didn't specify in our budget how much for each position. In that request from the county, we just asked for $52,000. So David has received $18,424.50. Bailey has received $11,940.91. So right now we have spent $30,365.41 of that 52. So we still have approximately a little under 22,000.
And the important thing is to verify that we're not impinging on the contract amount that might be in there in the agreements we had for the two, which it doesn't sound like we are.
I don't think we have a limit there's not a limit, I don't think, in the contract. It states their hourly wage in the contract. I don't think we guaranteed. I'll double check that, but I don't think it says specifically under a certain amount or up to a certain amount. The contracts do talk about $25,000 and over, and that part of the contract is talking about if you're going to pay them more than $25,000 and they have contractors working under them, then they have to do the drug-free workplace stuff. But that's the only time it references like a total amount.
It's just they don't subcontract.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that just
I know
ensures that we don't.
We've been blessed with Bailey's time that, since she's joined us, she's put in yeoman's hours and so forth, but I suspect that in order to stay within budget next year, she may need to back down her hours next year.
Yeah.
Somewhat, but I just want to make certain we kind of track that as we move forward.
Yep.
What happens if we have funding left over? Does it carry over?
It just carries over in our account. Yeah.
We always got some little bit of rainy day money, but trust Indiana money. So.
Yeah, but it could be next year, it could be very difficult getting money.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yep.
I have another question, Lisa.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have on the trees, are you gonna have the same sites, or are there gonna be the same amount of sites for distribution of the trees?
I'll probably determine that like with specific specifics on it next year, but yeah, I was gonna do at least 3 different pickup dates like we have in the past. You know, 4,000 trees, we may have to do, might wanna do 4, I don't know. But yeah, I'll probably do, the fairgrounds isn't obvious, it's been easy for people to pull in, pull out kind of thing. And then in Morrisville, we've been utilizing, Pioneer Park. They've got good parking there and a shelter house, but, I'm open for other suggestions if we want to try to do it in other locations too.
How the park is, when you had down here, Markville City Park.
Oh, that one is good too. We could use that as well. It's just, I think last year, when I called them and asked them the dates that I was preferring, they didn't have those dates available.
Fairgrounds seem a little easier to get in and out.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah,
You know, fairgrounds, you get somebody up north of Morrisville or something,
Mhm.
a little bit of drive, not much, but.
it is nice to have the picnic tables. It's other houses like in Morrisville, they've already got the picnic tables are up. I don't know if the set tables up or tear them down, but then I always feel like I have to clean up the ground a little bit better with all of the debris from the trees, whereas at the fairgrounds, we just kind of bring it into the show arena and go on.
Terrific. Lisa, that's a lot of good stuff. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now we get our consent agenda to address.
Before you do that, report.
Oh, sure. Yep. Sorry, I went
That's all right.
bottom up and.
That's all right. Just wanted to let you know, I did talk with Kim, Ferrero, with the Hoosier Environmental Council, legal counsel, and she has submitted her rebuttal to the HEC case, rebuttal to responses to both IDEM and AES's. She believes that now that they're at that point and she submitted them 2 days ago, that it may take 60 to 90 days. The judge will basically either make a decision or he may ask for oral comments or oral discussions and so forth. But in any event, the suit is progressing. And I also talked with Indra, and we're trying to work together to find out what was actually built and is being built on the southwest of the plant on the river bank, or on the east side of the river. They built something out there this last year. I haven't figured out what it is yet.
You say northeast?
Southwest of the plant.
I'm wrong.
That's all right.
Southwest of the plant. Okay.
Yeah. So, so we're trying to find out that, and we're also both trying to find out whether or not there's going to be a public comment period for AES's closure plan for D and E, those legacy ponds. That's been their proposed plan's been submitted, and you know, we just don't know what the process is on that, and we haven't seen anything in terms of what they're going to do, or exactly what they're going to do for the corrective measures. They had submitted and had the public hearing last April, you know, about the corrective measures to address the groundwater, the contamination that's in the groundwater moving to the southwest. But they haven't, there's no information online that we can find yet as to what their final decision's been and what their timing is for that. So just again, trying to keep track of that. On the cleanup or on the actual closure of A, B, and C, that work seems to be progressing. I got the last report that had photographs in it and so forth. And they've been able to do all of the work so far to remove it from below the seasonal high groundwater table without having to deal with the groundwater. It's, you know, since the river and the groundwater table has been so low. So that's, you know, it's great. I've updated the last MRO information. And that data again is in my spreadsheet, and again we're not seeing any real variations in terms of they did go over 1 million gallons per day on average discharge, but the contaminants seem to be staying remarkably similar, even though we've been in a long dry period. And water, groundwater's not flowing through ash per se, and so you kind of expect that stuff to start going down, but they just keep.
It's so saturated, it's
Yeah,
gonna take a
it's
while.
saturated.
And I don't think there's a good curve established to have an idea of if this ash has been in the ground for 40 years,
Yeah,
how long does it take to chelate it all out of the soil around?
yeah, so
At least they're not replenishing it.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
It's not getting recharged.
Yeah. So, any questions on that, I'll be happy to answer.
No, but I'll add to some of your questions. State give AES permission to use Maple Turn Road without the county being involved. The last commissioner meeting. And so the commissioners, it takes 19 mile some odd tenths to go from fisheries out there all the way around here before down Blue Bluff, 19 miles. And the state give permission to go over Maple Turn without even talking to the county. There's a little tip right there now. And then they tell us how they're gonna work out clear up into January.
See, I read that in the newspaper, but I kind of feel like either I read it in a report somewhere or in one of the plans. It's been stated somewhere, but I saw that the commissioners had no idea that they were
I
gonna
had
use
no
that
idea,
road.
they had no written agreement with them, AES, and all about taking care of the road. So the commissioners is up in the air because they want somebody to take care of their air. And they also come out there with, they didn't think about the load limits on those trucks. In the winter time, we all know when you got 35 degree weather, 20-degree weather, you throw whole hot dirt in there, it's gonna freeze in the bed. They have no way of weighing the scales and they leave the fisheries. So they're driving, the guys put maybe 5 or 6 big dumps on each truck and counting that as being legal. So they come over in front of all those curves, golf courses raising cane, and people in Foxville raising cane because the sides of the roads are starting to give way. And so they're raising cane about that. So I had to ask them, I said, okay, you guys say how many tons, but are you weighing the loads? I said, pretty soon you say 5 dumps on that truck, and if it's got a 1.5 tons dirt already frozen in the bed because it don't come out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm at. Pretty soon you're gonna have 18 to 19, 22 or 23 ton on triaxle, which is 86,000 gross weight. Do you have the weight skillet? No, we don't. We're just loading that so many loads per load.
So all that's true, Bill, but I will remind you, don't expect regulators in Indiana to do anything ever hold
Oh, we know that. They know that.
corporation accountable. So they can do all the talking they want.
I just was kind of snickering that they're worried about the roads, but they're not paying attention to what we've been screaming at them about the
Yeah,
water for like
exactly.
years. So like,
Come on, we have this highway to carcinogen toxins here,
But
folks.
see, nobody talked about that though over the years. In Martinsville, see now it's getting on the roads. People see the road taxpayer dollars going on the roads. That's where the rub hit, because said, state give permission, the county says, well, who's gonna take care of the roads? Well, we gotta fix them back a certain way. But they also said if they run, it takes 19 and a half miles to make a round trip, where they're making it 7 or 8 mile one way. So they're kind of arguing about that, because they said the company had a bid session, this and that, something else. So I just thought I'd add that to what Stan was talking about.
Just
And it's
bear in
gonna
mind,
It'll take another 400,000 ton. They've already used 400,000 ton on the ash, according to AES. It'll take another 400,000 ton to finish it up. So the fisheries.
And that's before D&E.
yeah, D&E's got more
Yeah.
fill, is gonna require more fill.
And so the fisheries is furnishing all the clay dirt over there, so the fisheries is really becoming a very good friend of Morgan County.
All righty. Is that all you guys
Yeah,
had?
yeah.
All right, thank you both. Okay, now, we're back in order, and
69.
we have our consent agenda. Did anybody have any questions or comments on the, minutes of our board meeting, the financial reports, or any of our, payments that need approval?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
A second. No more discussion? Favor? Aye.
Aye.
No vote. old business, what do we need on the Cynthia Reed grant application?
Well, we are kind of a, what do you call that?
Conundrum.
An impasse or whatever. We're not sure what to do with that because it's really more of a hardscaping issue, landscaping issue.
Okay,
She applied for the Seeding for Soil Health grant, but it's not really a planting issue. It's more of a, I would say stormwater management type issue. It's all runoff, whether it be from the park into her yard, but then once it gets into her yard, the hardscaping and the landscaping and so forth, because that is not very conducive. So David's gone and taken pictures. I don't think it fits into the Seeding for Soil Health grant. Now, is there something that maybe a local conservation grant might be able to help her with? She would like to have a rain garden. So I think if she were to be able to come up with plans for that and we have her resubmit to the other program, we might be able to help her fund that, but there's no, in her application, there was no plans for that. I think she really was wanting some technical advice. And then she was gonna be willing to kind of do what we suggested to solve the issue, but wanted money to help do that. And it doesn't really fit in the application she submitted.
do you have anybody else, like, is that something that Ecologic would be a good fit for coming up with a plan, or?
We talked to Stan, but he's getting ready to have surgery, so I'm going to suggest that maybe, I know, Michelle has had training in rain gardens. She's gone some workshops, so I'm gonna try to reach out to her and then like there was somebody else, the surveyor's office. If Michelle can't go out there and look at it with me, then take the surveyor's office and be able to go.
Okay. So you just want, do you need a motion to table that for now, or?
Well, we had it tabled and I just put
Okay.
it back in there because we have done some work on it and I wanted to give an update on that. I don't think it fits with that grant.
Okay.
So I don't know if you need to table it again and, I don't know how you think about that.
I don't think it probably needs tabled if it's already been. I don't think we had a timeline on that or limitation. Just an update.
Do you need a motion to table it?
I think it's already been tabled.
Yeah, if it's already been tabled. Yeah.
I may just have her resubmit to the grant and see what we can do.
So we need to talk about a delegate for the annual business meeting.
Can I
of
add
the
one thing
association?
for that?
Sure.
Because we don't have the more application on here. I sent it out
Okay.
separately after I sent this agenda out.
Mm.
And you guys had already approved the agenda earlier, but we approved it with their application on it, right?
Yes, we did.
So I don't know if you want to write that in.
That's
let
under
us
new
know
business and
for-
grant,
Yeah,
but-
it's right there under new business.
Yep. So, let's do our, which way you wanna do it? You wanna do the grant first? You wanna do the?
Yeah, for you.
Well, let's move through and we'll bundle that, next grant in with our Seeding for Soil Health grant. So, delegate for the SWCD business meeting. Haven't seen a whole lot about that. It should be a pretty quick meeting. It's just over Zoom, right?
Well, so tomorrow is the Zoom session and that's just for them. They'll have, anyone who submitted a resolution will be a part of that to explain why they're submitting that resolution and a little bit about each resolution that will be voted on. So that's tomorrow via Zoom. I did go ahead and register myself for that so that I would receive the Zoom link. I can forward that on to whoever is chosen as the delegate, if you want to view that. I will probably try to watch it. But the business meeting that's usually held during the conference in January, they're not doing that this year. So that's this meeting. They've moved it back to December 19th. I believe it's from 9 to 3 that day, but there's a specific time for that meeting and then there's like a lunch provided. You know, there's some other sessions that they're trying to make it a full day. If you guys are busy and you just want to come to the business meeting, you could do that. It's free to be there for the whole day, or it's free if you want to just go to the business meeting. So, I need though to get a name for that and get somebody registered to represent our district.
Where is business meeting gonna be?
Gonna be at the Farm Bureau Building in Indianapolis. I believe that's on East Street. Pretty easy building to get into, but you do have to be pre-registered for the meeting. I mean, if more than one of you want to go, that's fine. You can only have one voting delegate.
It's on a Friday.
Yep. I didn't look at the day of the week. It is.
Friday.
It's the final
You
day
know what time?
from 9 to 3. I believe there's a,
Well, what time the meeting is?
let me look. I tried to just like copy and paste the meeting information here. Page 23 of your booklet. It's not have a time.
So it says 9 to 3 Eastern.
Yeah, but that's for
Yeah,
the
that's
whole
the whole
day.
day.
But the morning will include a legislative panel and then the resolution, election of officers, time for networking and lunch. So I don't know what
The
the
meeting
agenda, they don't
lunch.
have the agenda on here.
Yeah.
I would hope they would do all the meeting stuff and then maybe give you a chance to have after lunch. I can find that out. If it's not, some of these things on this page were links. And that's why I included the link to the delegate book and our email for the meeting because it was lengthy and I didn't want to put all of it in here.
Okay.
But,
Well, I'm not committed after 10 on the 19th. I think it's good for us to have a representative there. It's good to show and be a part of the annual meeting.
right.
But by all means, if someone else is interested, they're more than welcome.
I did notice in the resolution packet, I was kind of zipping through them. And one of them addressed the issue that we ran into with allowing supervisors to, allowing people to be supervisors that own property in the county but live outside the county.
Yeah.
So they're trying to change that. So I should be in favor of that. Anybody that would like to serve and owns property should be able to do so. So that would be my one feedback. I won't be able to participate tomorrow, obviously. So I'm not gonna be up to speed or anything, so I'm gonna bow out of this one, 19th. But support that one resolution, please. I can't get up there until noon. So.
Doug?
It's okay. I can cover it.
Okay.
I'm close anyway,
You're up there. If you,
generally.
if you want, do you want to do the resolutions review session tomorrow at
Nope.
noon? I will see if they're going to record it, and if they aren't going to record it, I might be able to screen record it.
Okay. They usually give a really good synopsis of it
Yeah,
within the meeting anyway. There's
okay,
then so they present it, then there's discussion, so everybody gets to either affirm or dissent.
okay.
So there's pretty good background generally.
I'm interested in attending the meeting that day, but obviously I can't vote for you guys, so.
You can find out exactly what it is, and then I can, this afternoon, which I would. Go back up.
Yeah.
Deadline is the 9th, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
To
To
register.
register for it.
I may have an idea of whether or not I can do it by then.
Okay. Whatever you know, let me know. So,
Well, I
or,
think they usually give us an opportunity to assign a delegate and an alternate.
Yep.
So yeah, if that's the case, it would be nice to have an alternate.
what was the National Association of Conservation Districts membership?
That should probably. 24,
Page 45.
Yeah, so we usually pay the $7.75, which is the very bottom end of gold.
As long as they haven't bumped it up, I support staying there. You know, if they bump it
Yeah.
up to 800, then maybe you bump it up to 800. But we haven't done a lot. I think that's probably going to be an even, well, it depends on how things go over the next 6 months to a year. And I'd encourage everybody to think about, depending on how the funding for conservation goes from the federal government, this organization might become a lot more critical.
Yes.
And be something really worth supporting under the condition that they expand the footprint. You know, more money doesn't mean they're going to be more effective.
Right.
So that's my 2 cents.
We need a motion.
I make a motion that we stay at our current level,
775
$7.75 for next year.
in a second.
Thanks.
Making sure I'm giving time to Lisa. All in favor? Aye. No opposed. Logo where?
So I was hoping that when I would get to you tonight, I would have a total of what everybody has already ordered and have a number for you guys. I'm gonna be really honest, I've had a lot of really crazy off the wall things happen in my family this week and like, you know, series of unfortunate events kind of stuff. And I have not gotten that all totaled up. So we need to place a logo where order. If it gets pushed to the next board meeting, like it's not the end of the world. I don't think, unless anybody
For me,
absolutely has to have their beanie hat before December.
yeah, I think
Or I can send out an email with that.
I
But
still
it
have
just-
2 shirts and a vest and a hat and a beanie for a stocking hat. So
I do know, like
I'm
Debbie,
grateful for anything.
the shirts that we typically order are really long for her, so she bought her own shirts, and we're gonna get those embroidered for
Way to
her.
go. That's
So,
good tactic.
anyways, I'm sorry, I don't have that number for you.
Are you gonna order any beanies to give away?
If you want me to, I can.
I mean, that's something good to think about. That
Might be a good annual meeting.
Yep.
giveaway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Easy.
So if
People
somebody wanna
really
make a
appreciate
motion
it.
to vote to spend X number of dollars or X number of hats for the,
How much for the hats?
and do you want them only beanies, or do you want because the beanies actually, I think, are a little bit more than the base.
Beanies are good for the winter,
Yeah,
especially if you got a bald head like me.
the ball caps
It makes a
are,
big difference.
ball caps are $16 and beanies are $18. Both of them are made with recycled fibers.
I like the beanie, but I'm okay with whatever. But
Why don't we do a couple of each
Mm-hmm.
there you go.
Two
Perfect.
each.
Yeah.
So that's a motion.
for the annual meeting?
So you made a motion?
I made a
She
motion.
did.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. I can't remember if I ordered us. beanies or not.
Well, now you still have time if you didn't.
If I didn't put 2 beanies.
Okay, now to the fun part, our 2 grants for the evening. So the Carters are doing 70 acres cover crop. All the field numbers, pertinent info is in there, and I'd say it's consistent with all the past grants that we have approved.
Yeah, luckily I was able to dig around in their files and find their field maps because the NRCS isn't sending me nothing right now, so.
So what would the total value of the grant be? If I'm missing it?
2,000. Well, it doesn't say on there. I saw it somewhere.
It would be up to $3,000 for cover
I
costs
feel crazy because I thought I saw it there.
with a maximum of,
Okay. So,
There's the 3,000 here from this.
well, no, but it's listed because you gotta spell out, you're gonna get so many pounds of.
on this grant for the seeding for soil health, it's different than the
Oh,
local grant. They, like, especially for
Okay.
cover crops, there's
Okay.
a $30 per acre maximum and a $3,000 total max. But again, it's based on receipts submitted, so, with it doing the 75-25 split. So it really varies on, when he gets his receipts and we total in all of the hours it costs, him and labor and things like that, and I have to plug a lot of numbers in to be come up with.
Will be the total number of acres times 30 for, up to 3,000.
Right.
Okay.
Which would be 100 acres at $30, but he's only doing 7.
Okay.
So.
So it'll be somewhat less than that.
Mhm.
All right.
So Tom, what's on that, I think it's fields that says 1/3 or something like it, what's that? And it must still be rye and radish? But what is that? That's the third one
well,
down.
that third one down didn't have a plant cover crop mix in listed.
The Linville farm. Is it Ryan Radish as well?
Oh, he said, yeah, he said, you know, real quick.
A lot of blanks to fill in.
We need a motion to accept this or approve this grant application.
We do.
I'll make that motion.
In a second. All in favor? Aye.
So I put it in on the agenda that I made,
That'd be
that I
abstain.
abstained.
Grant number 2. It's this one that I got. Maybe it's because that was right there.
Yep.
All right. I guess this is we have a grant application
Get that one.
for,
That's the one I wrote down and printed. That's it.
Okay.
for erosion control. So it's kind of a high use area pad, but for horses.
These pads interlock together and your plan is to lay them out around the high use area?
Well, to try to, I'm in the process of doing like a track system. So we have 66 acres, but about 3.5 of it is pasture where we have 4 horses. And a track system is like you have like a track on the perimeter of the pasture. So we've had a lot of trouble with weeds and overgrazing, so I'm trying to control that. If you give them the track, they can still move around the perimeter, but you can foster the growth and rejuvenate the center of the pasture. So we're creating feeding stations where they have to keep moving so they congregate less. A couple of feeding stations that keep them moving, and then the pathway to it. Mat with we have 2 different kinds of mats on there, and Lisa had pointed out that the rubber mats they like fill everything underneath, and then that they're cheaper. The other ones on the last, I think it's the last page, they're called mud grids, and they allow grass to go through them and water to flow through them, so they're wonderful, but they're very expensive. So the thought was to do the pathway to that feeding station with the good grids, but then have the rubber mats under the feeders, so it's a smaller area where when they do feed, they'll congregate. But also we keep them moving. We have another feeding station.
Are you
So-
gonna put any base underneath those? Are you gonna put down any stone or anything?
You can, the mud grids, you don't need to.
Yeah.
They're wonderful. They stabilize. I mean, you can have 6 inches of mud and interlock those expensive mud grids and they'll stabilize it. Grass can go through them or it can flow out through them. Maybe that's why they're so expensive. They're really great. And the rubber mats would probably be better with like a base of, fine, like crushed limestone.
Just to level it out.
Yeah, and they could slip and slide and kind of, I mean, interlock with the horses weighing a lot. It'd be great to use the mud grids, but it's really expensive. It's a really nice one. But yeah, any suggestions about other materials? I mean, I've looked at every map.
I like the kind of thing that they use for people traffic too. So if you see, you'll see them in parks sometimes.
Really stabilize things, and they
Yeah,
seem to hold up well. We put them in
Yeah.
two spots, and they are pretty durable. They seem to freeze thaw okay.
The mud grid ones?
yeah.
Yeah, because it's like 2 inches. They're
Yep.
very
Yeah.
stable.
Yeah.
I wish they were as expensive. They're so expensive. It's what process.
Yeah, but it's generally a one-time application. There were some that are 25 years old now.
I've tried to
And they're
find
still holding
used
up.
ones, because
Yeah.
you can pick them up and then take them and then, then with something that they wrong would just rejuvenate pretty quickly. This thing is great, but we haven't found any used ones yet. No.
Yeah.
That would be great. So somebody's got to be moving and leaving a farm.
Mhm.
But
Makes a lot of work to fix that up.
yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of work to put them down, but it's a lot of work to have lower system.
Yeah, you can do that, rent a bobcat or something, and it's that forklift to do that. Then you can damage them.
My only, and I already emailed her back about this, is if we require folks to do per NRCS standards, is this an NRCS standard to use for a heavy use area pad instead of using the line and the rock and stuff and using the grid in place of it. And I did send Holden a message about that, but I have not.
I wouldn't
So-
think the perimeter will really be high use area for that.
You could what?
I wouldn't think that perimeter work would be. That's kind of,
Are you doing this all the way around the pasture then, or is it just in the?
Eventually, I mean, in stages, we're working on it in stages, but Lisa, what were you talking about instead?
Like typically the heavy use area pads that NRCS designs include, like the geotextile fabric, and like larger rocks, and then they cap it with, limestone.
We have a
So
track
then-
that we've done that. We've done the cloth and then the cells on top. We have a part of a track on the other pasture that we started that like maybe 200 feet. Would you say that?
Yeah.
And it holds up really well. You can't remove it.
Right,
Yeah, and that's
usually-
the thing about the mud grids. You can move it and then the land can go back to whatever.
yeah, you would have to excavate it.
Is
But it's like.
Is this for public use or private use?
In private.
And if you go to private, everybody else can find out about this, and they're gonna wanna use it for public too. If people find out we're writing grants for private people to use this stuff, people that have horse stables and riders, stuff like that, they're gonna wanna use it for themselves down the road. So we think about,
I wouldn't think that, I wouldn't think that creates any kind of easement or expectation or like, we don't see that with, with high use area pads. I don't think anything that we do gives anybody any right of access or anything.
So without the pad, without the path and so forth, this ground stays fairly turned up and so forth, and you lose soil by wind and rain or some runoff. And that's your overall objective, is to keep kind of things in place and
Yeah.
and build. Are you going to plant anything in particular in the middle of this Are you gonna reseed it or something like that?
Oh, we
also?
reseed it every year. Yeah, I mean, we need to keep it, wanna keep it so horses can go in there, but also so they don't destroy it.
Right.
But have the outside where they can still move, congregate with them. This week, we didn't know very much when we moved there, and the horses just got out, and we could see really quickly, saw the rotting, weeds. That we do reseed. We reseed already this year, we're gonna winter seed, talk to Lisa about that. We try to minimally use, herbicides. You know, so just to, we can pull, we like to, like, get consultation on it. Point too. I mean, it's just, one project. I don't know if I can answer your question.
Horses are tough on pasture.
Yeah, we're trying to mitigate that.
And do you have the ability to move them out of there and allow the seed to get established and then, okay.
All roped off.
That's what the
Yeah.
truck is.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
How many horses do you have?
4.
How many acres you run 4 on?
How many?
How many acres are you running the horses on?
About 3.5. Yeah.
So you're overgrazing already.
Well, they're not on it 24/7. There's a dry lot that they're contained on, so we control that. I mean, it's a learning process, but yeah, we did overgraze the first
Are
year.
you supplementing hay or anything like this?
Oh, yeah, 24/7 hay. Yeah.
I have cattle. I know what that means, so does Ray. We know what that means about overgrazing. Even though you have paddocks, you move cattle around, you still got too much overgrazing on a small area.
Usually what you do, you have to have sacrifice lot, and that's it. You have to, to me, you get them off the pasture on that sacrificing lot, and that's the ones that get tore up.
Yeah, and that's what we're using the tracks for. And then we have a dry lot, a small dry lot, and yeah, we went down from not knowing any of this to being out all the time to being out 5 or 6 hours a day and contained on the tracks of the dry lot the rest of the time. Because we want to.
So where this all is and the runoff and sediment that comes off this, where does it end up? I mean, is there much relief here and where does it end up going?
Our property kind of goes gently this way, so
Okay.
it ends up kind of going, and then this ridge, I'm sorry. Over there, so it kind of flows down there, kind of settles, and sometimes a little bit in the bottom of the pasture, and then there's a runoff creek.
There's a creek. Yeah.
There's a creek there.
There's a creek at the bottom of the two. There's a valley. So kind of in a,
It's not steep.
there's a creek at the bottom.
So the objective though is, I mean, right now, do you have much of this material that's ending up in the creek because it's not, I mean, is it transported that way when you have rain events and so forth? That this
Eventually,
will,
yeah, some
Okay.
of it is, yeah.
all right,
So these mud strips, they're right on top of the ground.
Yeah,
So what happens if you have an exceptional amount of rain coming in? Because normally those pads, I have a pad at home for my cattle. But when you do the NRCS, they're gonna be the geotech down first, which actually stops the wash from going down. Then you put big minus 53s for about 6 inches or so. So what happens is that the water goes straight down, pushes way down. Whereas if you didn't have it, then the water would be going over. So, it kind of seems like to me with these mud grids, if they have acceptable rain, the water's gonna go over. I don't think they would be able to absorb, the ground can't absorb it because it's not a rock base, it's just a dirt base.
yeah, some of it, yeah, if you have a really heavy rain, if it's normal rains, it would get absorbed like.
And it's gonna run off, and the question is where it's gonna run to.
Yeah, it keeps it though from getting churned up and turned into 6 inches or 8 inches of mud, and then that should
and
be.
dust during the dry periods.
Yeah.
They tend to blow away or then get picked up easily.
I did watch a video from Nelson, Kentucky, and see that they could use these grids after she put her application, they did a little research.
So
They do use the grids quite often in forest applications around feeding areas. I don't know about like a large track or whatever, but,
People
Yes.
use them on those tracks a lot.
yeah, in the feeding area that I watched, there still was like a method of creating a base that goes under them. You just didn't set them on the soil. They had to excavate out underneath of that, and I don't know what the specific layers, but it's kind of like building.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, for the drainage. I will say my opinion on this would be to have a technician that will at the site and that has the soil.
That's what I thought.
and survey.
See if we can match it up with something that the ILCS has.
And then.
Right, to make sure we're meeting
That way.
standards and
Okay.
I think that's what we should be doing.
since, I mean, our grants are written, that we have to. We need to have a television or some sort of technical.
So
There was
you're
a-
on the right track, but we want to get some guidance.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I saw the video from Western Kentucky University, they use them at their farm, their horse farm, under their feeding areas, but there was a process of like excavation with they use geotextile fabric underneath of them and.
Ties it all together a little better.
Yeah. So I just wanna make sure we're gonna put money towards a project that we are making sure that we have.
All their guys, so do you want to table it for now and then, so who will you have to get? Will Holden be able to do that, or is that something, is that more
I
of a
haven't
Tony
reached out
thing?
to him.
Okay.
I think that Holden should be able to do it.
Okay.
We'll get it back together, get them to go in, yes, they got going back.
If they, yeah.
And there'll be a lot of backlog.
Sure.
Well, but I think, you know, if we can avoid that backlog, that'd be great, to where they can get rolling on it sooner the better.
Especially winter time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess the way I would summarize, we're on the same page, that this sounds like something that we would support in concept. We just have to make sure that we follow the guidelines, and to get the clarification on the guidelines, it's gonna take either somebody from the state affirming or the Fed affirming, and we'll try to not use the Fed, so it doesn't get into the abyss.
Yeah, but Greencastle has, when I had BiPAD, they had, Tony got the, engineer from Greencastle out.
Greencastle Soil and Water or Greencastle?
No, it's the
NRCS,
NRCS.
it's where the base was, and he came out and looked everything over and explained everything, so.
But they're not working.
Yeah, they're all,
Yeah, but I think they get this settled, they'll back.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's back on.
yeah, they'll have a lot of cleanup. Okay, so do you need a motion to table it?
I think, I don't know, to you guys, like, I don't know how you want to.
Well,
If
have
we
any more
have-
questions?
If Holden says, yes, I can do it. And I'll come out and look at it, and I don't know.
Well, let's just keep
So
it
I would
on.
say table it. I would make a motion that it be tabled, and if we get some clarification in terms of, what changes would have to be.
Yep.
And in the dollar values and how it's gonna be done, and then we'll take it up as soon as that stuff. So we'd like to help you. There are some steps to go through, and, if I don't know if there's a possibility, to do something else creative outside of that. It'd be nice to kick that around with, you know, I mean, I'd like to go out to the site at some point when I have that. When I'm available to do that and just look at what you got, maybe make some suggestions.
That'd be great.
Yeah, every bit we can do to help.
You know, we wanna keep, primary thing is to keep the soil there and to keep it from being transported either by air or water off the site.
Yep.
That stuff. So we support that effort and go from there. So that's my motion. Is to-
I summarized that motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, so. We're good to go then. You bet. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Again,
Thank you
appreciate
very
you
much.
Comes a lot of ground tonight.
All right.
We talked about annual meeting location. I can check with the folks at Markville Schools.
Okay.
But I also think fairgrounds would be a fine location.
Okay.
So I'm not opposed or, leaning either way. If anybody has a preference, stop me, but I do think it'd be kind of fun just to be keeping Lou in mind and, I don't think anybody in the school, well, I imagine Mr. Boland probably Lou. But I don't think any of the other,
Well, I saw that there was a bouquet from some, the staff at Smith School.
Okay.
I think it was Smith, maybe it was South. At one of
If
the
they
schools.
didn't work with them, they had it.
Right, right, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Not kidding.
he's a fixture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I already have this room reserved for the date that we usually use and a reserved date.
Give myself a reminder to,
But I just have been thinking through the whole process on usually I've been slacking lately on the logistic things, like tonight's meeting, I'd happen to shuffle up here. But, just thinking forwards to that meeting, it might be easier to have it elsewhere this year, and looking back through some of our history, like John said, it looks like they used to move the meeting around a little bit. Another location that might be kind of interesting is Purdue Extension has their annual meeting up at, the Apache
Mooresville.
Sprayer Place in Mooresville. They have a large gym and they have tables and a kitchen area in that
It's a
building
fine
as well. Yeah, so it might be kind of nice to maybe start moving it around a little bit and look at other locations that would be conducive for.
Be nicer for the northern.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I mean,
nice.
it's sure it'd be easy for me to roll my stuff up on the elevator and set things out and roll it back down at the end of the night, but it might be nice to move it around. So.
There's, you know, there's a little bit of friction sometimes between Mooresville and Martinsville. People that really come to Martinsville all the time. It's like what's gonna happen up to Mooresville stuff. So maybe a good thing to start something like that. Maybe they could let us do something. And another thing, I've not been this very long, but I throw this out there to you. You think we could move the meetings up earlier for not earlier, but go through the agenda for the applications at the start of the meeting rather than at the end of the meeting? But then people sit here for a night for an hour for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm open to that. I'm open to whatever structure we wanna.
Wouldn't that be better than what them sitting here tonight, cause they was probably getting a little antsy.
They tended,
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
they hopped up and left, but we also have had some folks who have come to the meeting and enjoyed all of the
That's
conversation.
where I would
and-
go with it, is that, if you want a grant, you need to understand what this organization does holistically, so I kinda like them being at the end.
Well,
But I'm
that's just a thought,
Yeah.
cause cause Lisa does a really good job of educating them, I think, before it comes before us.
Yeah.
And just a suggestion, or you can let it go or.
Yeah, when they come back in with that information, the next time they come up, if it's been tabled, we move those up.
Yeah.
You know, in the
Right.
agenda.
Up front,
Sure,
don't
yeah.
let them
Yeah.
get in the meeting, cause
Yeah.
I've been to some meetings like this before, and you just sit and listen to the whole meeting. And you don't get.
I'm kinda like Doug, I'm
It's good
like,
for you,
yeah, it's good for them to listen and hear what all we do, and
you bet,
Yeah, but if they listen to what we done here, that's what we tore them apart on what they was gonna get done.
and that's part of
But
it.
we had
it's not like
nothing,
we tore them apart, we told them we were.
well, but we had nothing to say so in these
I just
meetings.
want to be
about-
sure that it's a
We
standard that
support
we're,
we support it conceptually, we just tell you guidance.
yeah.
Well, I know, but we didn't have anything about guidance in the whole meeting.
Yeah.
Till the app for the
Yeah,
application.
we had the same thing, we, with the Cynthia Free grant application.
Just a thought,
Same
guys, just a
situation.
thought, just thought.
I like it.
While we were talking about the annual meeting though, and I know you mentioned Blue, I have thought about all of this. If we rename an award or a program or something in his honor, I feel like, we should have done that for other people that have passed away who have made a tremendous
Good point.
contribution.
Yep.
And I don't wanna hurt anybody's feelings that we didn't do that.
And then have to perpetuate it in the
Yeah,
future as well.
yeah, cause you guys are. there's a
Well, it's
lot of
just
you,
important
like-
to honor somebody like Lou.
But I did think of this, and maybe a compromise. I had a few ideas that I wanted to run by you. Since Lou was such a proponent of youth and education, maybe picking 5 books that are conservation based and printing stickers that say, these books are being donated by the SWCD in honor of Lou Fagans, and maybe provide those for the elementary schools in Martinsville School District or to the public library, because he was also, I think when I
He's on the
started on
library
this board, he was still on the library board, or Connie was, one of them was on
Yeah,
that
he was
board.
for quite a while.
Yeah. so donating books to the library or, we have these local conservation grants. I don't know what you feel about if you wanted to do a program in his name. I just feel like Warren passed away not that long ago and he had some contributions too.
Yeah.
But doing teacher grants, and I don't even know if that's legal from State Board of Accounts side of things, but if teachers applied individually, I don't know. I still would have some hunting to do to find out if that's legal,
Keep your
but
eyes and wheels turning on it.
having a program where teachers could apply for maybe up to $200 to purchase conservation equipment or lesson, things to go with a specific lesson plan. I don't know, that gets
But it's
kind of
also-
hairy, but the book idea I thought of first, and I thought that would be an easy way to honor him.
Well,
You know,
and we all want to honor him, but Lou wouldn't want to thank. That's the other
Yeah,
balance to keep in mind sometimes is that we all want to honor them. Well, part of honoring those that have gone is recognizing some of them don't want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connie did mention to me at the funeral home that she hoped his legacy would continue. And I know that they have the scholarship fund, if you guys want to put donations together from the whole group. I can somehow do that. I can't do it through the district.
Yeah, not
fund,
to the
but we
district,
can
but we can.
put it all
say
in
the
an
board
envelope or
made a
something at the next
donation.
meeting, then mail that in from the district, or, I at the very least would like to do what we did for Warren and do like a moment of silence and talk about his contributions to the board.
Yeah.
And I've tried to start looking through some of the pictures that the district has to include some of him, maybe a few photos.
Can I ask, do we have an educator that has been outstanding in terms of, if we've got a teacher that's been really active in getting these kids educated and so forth, with all you and Bailey and Emma have done and so forth, could we acknowledge them or give out?
We did last year.
Yeah, Crystal Matthews.
We gave
did.
Krista Matthews an award last year. She's
Top
really
notch.
the big, yeah.
Yes.
So-
Do we do that again and give it out in his honor,
Well, there used to be a D. Terrell Education Award. I think David has that plaque on his desk.
Yep, I was the first one to receive it, detail educator or conservation educator.
But I don't, we haven't addressed it as the D. Terrell Award. We have given out when we come across a person like that, we've given them an award, but I can't think of any other teachers this year that have engaged us like that. Really. Besides Krista, she has us in the classroom every opportunity that she can.
Probably won't find them. Not right now.
It's getting more difficult, unfortunately.
Did we give him something when he?
Yes, so it's really funny actually story because we gave him a glass water drop figurine. I don't remember the statue. I don't know if you remember.
I remember that for Warren. But
We did it for Warren, and so then when he stepped off the board, we did it for him too. And he came into the office, and I don't know if you guys remember me asking if we could allocate some more funds, because he came into the office after the annual meeting and said he would really like to have a plaque instead to hang on his wall. So we ordered him a plaque. It was like $20.
Shoot, I'd rather have.
So we had both, okay? But at the funeral home, the plaque was not there, but Connie had brought the glass water drop. So I kind of giggled as I walked by, and I thought, you might have wanted the plaque, but Connie obviously liked that water drop. So. but
Well,
yeah,
let's just
that
keep
was
on good ideas, because it's important to recognize folks.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
I do want to let you know that we have received the booklets on invasive woody shrubs that we
Okay.
ordered.
Yeah, we should have brought those upstairs.
I wish we had somebody that would be willing to maintain like a rain guard at South.
mhm. Yeah, I was thinking about that, I just don't, I think
Yeah.
teachers in elementary school are so
There-
overtaxed with classroom management.
There are some, I know one that's associated with ICANN that does that.
Yeah, yeah.
But
For some folks, it's their
they
moment of
have an
sanity.
ICANN dog at their school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's become a mission for her, but
Yeah.
that's what I see something conservation.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
Okay, do we get to do a board leadership program tonight?
you guys want to.
I don't know about
Whatever's
want to,
between
but
one
we're
and a
willing.
half.
Let me
Oh,
see,
look at
I
the
think
lines
Bailey,
up there.
do you wanna stay on here or do you need to log off? Oh, you're,
I'll probably hop off for the night. But nice seeing you all virtually. Uh, um,
good luck
yeah,
tomorrow.
You
Good
bet.
luck
thank
tomorrow.
you. Thank you. I'm excited. I think they're gonna do pretty good for only having like 3 weeks to prepare. So excited. All right. See you guys.